And we're live.
Hello.
Can you guess what month this is?
I bet you can't.
I bet you can. It's freaking end of May and we're freezing.
June is in a couple days.
Yeah.
Tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is
Can you believe
June
that?
1st.
Oh my God. And I'm wearing my
Canada.
winter jacket and a blankie. Just because I can.
Because I can. And a toque.
I'm gangster that
You're
way.
wearing a
And a
hat.
toque. Because I got to represent. North side is the best side. No, we did not have any smoke before this, unfortunately. But guess what? This is our first podcast together.
Yeah.
I'm super psyched because Amy is someone that I've really been looking. I'm talking as if you're not here. You're someone that I have been appreciating from a distance because we're both in the dance world, in case you guys don't know, in the bachata social dancing world. And I feel like every so often I come across somebody like yourself that makes my soul light up.
Aww.
I don't know how else to say it. It's like I feel at home, I feel seen, I feel comforted all at the same time. And it's a very reassuring feeling because I don't know, at this point in my life, I don't like surface, if that makes sense.
Same. You're same to me, Ali.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I look in your eyes, I'm like, okay, that's me. I'm home now. It's so comforting.
Yeah.
And it can be a little lonely, you know, like walking around and you can tell, but as soon as you find someone, you're like, oh, you're there. Oh, that's you. Oh, okay.
It's nice, right?
So
Like,
nice.
I remember we were at Canada SBK Congress last year, and I think I was feeling a bit drained, but I wasn't realizing it, you know, one of those times. I was volunteering there. It was a great experience, don't get me wrong, but I was like, a part of me was craving like human connection, and I wasn't fully conscious of that until I spotted you. And at that point I was like, wow, Amy's here, this is so great. And I remember us just gazing into each other's eyes and then hugging each other, embracing each other, and it was just such a warm and fuzzy feeling, and then some, you know what I mean? Like it just
100%.
felt really like, oh, this is what I needed, you know,
Yeah.
like I can breathe right now, you know what I mean?
Same, because I randomly came into the hallway. Like I don't even know why I did, but I was like, oh, I need to go for a walk right now, and like walked down an empty hallway, and there you were, and we just, oh, this is why I had to walk here.
I love when those things happen, right?
Yeah.
Because you and I, we don't believe in coincidences. We know there are no such thing as happenstances. They're meant to be for whatever reason, and I'm grateful for that because it's connections like these that like really enliven me and make life worthwhile. Because it's not that it's depressing otherwise, but it is depressing otherwise. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Life is not easy, you know, so let's not kid ourselves. You know, like I remember I was going through a phase where I'm like, I'm going to be optimistic all the time and positive all the time. But that shit doesn't fool anybody. It fools yourself. It fooled me because it's like, I can't pretend that I'm happy when shit is not easy.
And I think that's what makes you feel more lonely. Because thinking that you have to hide your sadness, your quote unquote darkness to be liked, or, you know, to keep going on in the world it's a really lonely place to be. And when you can embrace that and find someone else and other people who also accept that about you, then
Yes. Yeah, I love that. So, in summary, I love you, and I'm so grateful for you. And you're a beacon of light and love, and you're a treasure in our community. And just having you around is so awesome because it just makes life workable.
and you as well. You too.
I would embrace you more fully, but I'm freezing.
Yeah.
And we've embraced a lot before this, and we'll embrace again later when Sherry comes. Because we love doing that, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel great?
It does. Yeah.
I know I had all these plans for this podcast, but I'm like, fuck it. We're just gonna go with it.
Yeah.
Because we always have so much to talk about.
It's true.
I still remember our first meeting. Do you remember it? It was like our first and only major meeting. Like it wasn't major. It was like a vegan coffee shop or something.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
Midtownish.
because you called me. I think you
Yeah.
reached out to me. You're like, I don't really remember remember, but I just remember feeling like, who is this guy? Like, how does he know me already? Like, what? He's telling me about myself, and I'm like, yeah, okay, we have to meet. Like, how do you know me already?
I remember seeing your Instagram. I'm like, she's one of us, and us is me. Now it's us. And Cherry.
Yeah.
And maybe like a handful of other people. You know.
Yeah, totally.
You understand the feeling.
Yeah.
So then when we met, it's just like catching up, you know, like, oh, this is what you've been up to. Okay, my life has been exploding in 10 of these ways, and you're telling me about your life, and I'm like, oh, great.
And it's like
she is one of us.
because it's like when you're like, you get it, just like this, this, like kids, like, and this, and then this, and this happened. Oh my God.
Exactly like kids.
I felt like high after I was like, this happened.
I remember that. It was just a great experience because then it's not even about necessarily the venue or what you're eating. It's just like the company, you know. It's like I feel seen. I feel heard. It's like, you know, I don't know, like feeling like you're getting supercharged, you know, and now you can handle life again.
Exactly, like plugging in.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Plugging in.
Yeah. And isn't it so, like, I'm just thinking, you know, we're around so many people all the time that it doesn't often feel like that, and you notice when it really does. And it's like, in my life, I'm realizing, okay, I need to keep choosing the plugging in feeling, you know, but you do tend to forget or something.
No, I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like you know, forgetting and forgetfulness is a really good term because in a sense that's what we're living in this life is in forgetfulness. Because our soul knows the entirety of everything, beginning to the end, middle, sideways, backwards, upside down. In every way, it has full knowing. We come into this life with the full knowing, and yet here we are in forgetfulness. And then when we see each other, and it's not just us, but any light worker, any healer, you're like, oh, okay, there's someone else here spreading the light in this dim, dark place. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. Did I ever share with you what the word for earth is in Arabic and what it means?
I don't know. What is it?
Dunya. Have you ever heard the word dunya?
I don't think so.
Dunya, if I'm correct, one of the translations is, you know, like the lowest plane. You know, like it's very low.
Okay,
And you know this as in your, you know, that this is one of the lowest vibration places to be in the universe. And yet here we are, we chose to be here. And it's actually, if you think of it that way, it's not so bad. Because it could be worse. We could be, I don't know, like in solitary confinement, God forbid, or in meditation prison like I was last week. We're going to talk about that.
Yes, we will.
Man, there's so much to talk about. Totally like kids, isn't it? Like,
it is.
I'm really jumping topics, so.
Yeah, same. But it's true. Like when you said like it's Earth is the hardest school to be in. It's like the densest energetic place to be, and so our souls can grow the most from it. But it's true, like when you think about all the actual places on this earth and all the experiences people might have, to fathom the pain that people are going through, it's hard to like see from a bird's eye and be like, oh, but it's just to learn, you know, because when you're in it and when you see people suffering, it's hard to just keep that perspective. But I mean, then you come back and it's like, okay, it's here, it's for learning, it's for growth, it's healing,
it's like watching a movie, right? Like a really immersive IMAX virtual reality film, and you get to a point where you feel like you're actually in the film and everything feels real. But then you take a break and you're like, you go to the restroom or something, or go get popcorn, and you're like, wait a minute, it's just a movie. You know, and that's not to put light the suffering that people are going through. That suffering is very real to them, and the experience is very real to them, and we can relate. We've had our own sufferings, and who knows, the suffering's not done, we're still on earth. You know, who knows what's to come. But the beauty is when you realize that, you know, in your remembrance, you realize that this is a virtual reality. It's not it's not the ultimate reality, it's a reality. And whatever we're perceiving is an illusion.
Yeah.
Whatever we perceive through our sense doors is all an illusion. It's an interpretation of vibration. But even scientists have proved that what we see is only a small percentage of what's actually going on. What we hear is only a small spectrum of what you can actually hear. What we smell, same thing, taste, everything. So we're living in a very confined, limited environment for a purpose. I'm not making it seem like, oh, it's all grim and bad. It's for a purpose. It's for a design for a purpose. And as you said, we're here to learn, we're here to express, and we're here to experience. So in that we can find beauty. Like when you start to see it from a certain perspective and start to see reality for what it is, I feel like there's relief in that. Would you agree with that?
100%. And when you can actually see that perspective, there's relief as well. Because it's like when you're so consumed by everything that's happening, and you're consumed by emotion, and you're consumed by, this is happening and this, it's really hard to continue with positivity or with any kind of hope. But having that detachment of okay, I'm part of this world. This is an experience, but it isn't all of me. There's other parts of me. And having that detachment in a way kind of helps. I had this dream, and I swear it's my guides are showing me that this is not like a video game, but really I was in a video game, and it was oh, I can do anything I want.
Wow.
There's no nothing saying no, you can't do that, or you have to do this or anything. So it's I'm driving around woo. And it's and I woke up with that feeling that the dream gave me of I'm a part of this, but it doesn't consume me. It doesn't have to own me,
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I'm grateful that you saw it in a dream, in wakefulness. I think I've had those experiences on a shroom trip.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I've had dreams about it, just I don't recall it, which is also by design.
Oh yeah, so many dreams I don't remember. I can feel it and it slips away.
Yeah, and you're like, oh man, let me write it down quickly. Oh, there it is, gone.
Yeah.
Every time I'm just I gotta write this one down, but it's what was it again? Who did I see? What did they say? How did I feel? And it's gone. But I think that's part of the beauty of life, and even if it's not, I choose to see it that way because it makes life more bearable.
Yeah.
Because it can be very challenging, right? Sometimes you feel okay, I don't belong here. Why am I here? I feel so heavy in this body. I feel so, sometimes I feel disconnected.
Yeah.
And I feel guilty to say that because it's no, we should always feel connected, oneness. But the truth is, it's not sustainable in this life experience. Would you agree with that?
I do agree with that. Continue on that because I have something, but it's
yeah, it's okay. It's all good. So what I love is that, life as it goes on, for me, now I'm north of 40, so I should say
sounds like a TV show.
Yeah, north of 40. So yeah, in this life experience, I'm north of 40, but I still feel like I'm 7 or 8 years old, which is a beautiful feeling, right? It reminds me of what Jesus supposedly said, that you will not enter the kingdom of God unless you're childlike, something of that sort. I'm just paraphrasing. Sorry, Jesus, if I got it wrong. I love you. You know I love you. Speaking of which, I've had some really crazy dreams.
Yeah?
I had St. Francis come in my dreams.
Is this recently because of the meditation or before?
No, before.
Okay.
The meditation brought us some crazy shit.
Yeah? Because I want to know.
Yeah, shall we go into it?
Yeah, I want to know more.
If we sound ADD, that's because we are.
Yeah.
And we embrace it.
Yeah, the
if you're listening to this, you're riding with us. Deal with it. Love you guys.
Deal with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste. Last week, just to bring you guys into the loop, I did a crazy, amazing 10-day meditation prison, aka Vipassana. I call it meditation prison because it felt that way, and I wanted to escape so many times. And yet, I'm so happy I did it. And my only regret is I didn't do it earlier. Like, I wish I did it like 2 decades ago. I saw some guys there that were like 18, 21. I'm like, good on you, you know, like, imagine the transformation you're experiencing and the impact you're going to have on, you know, your own life, but the people that you're going to encounter from this age onwards. And me, it's like, wow, I'm thinking back of all the people I quote unquote, I don't want to say damaged, but like, you know, like crash and burn kind of relationships where it's like, you know, things I've said maybe or done that I'm not super proud of. Those of you listening know what I'm talking about that know me. I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me.
I don't know anything about that.
You don't know anything about that because you're all Om Shanti and perfect with a halo around you.
Yeah,
Born a saint, living a saint, dying a saint.
No.
Me, on the other hand, oh my God. For years, I was convinced I'm going to hell. So it was only when I picked up those books by Neil Donald Walsh. I don't know if you heard of the Conversations with God.
Maybe
Girl,
heard of it, but I don't.
You already know about it because, in a sense, like your guides have told you, and you're living that life. For me, I've always like questioned, and that's been a blessing and a curse, because I was like, I'd get into something and I'm like, is this the truth? Is this really the truth? Or are there other truths? You know, is there another way? You know, is this the ultimate truth? You know, so always questioning, right? And it led me to different paths. Like I grew up as a Muslim, then I became Sufi, and then I got into this cult that I don't want to talk about. I call it a cult, but it's probably not a cult, but it felt like a cult. And then this whole Vipassana thing happened that feels so amazing because they were talking all about universal truths. And they were saying that this is not about religion, it's not about sectarianism, anything that divides, this is not about that. And I'm like, what? That's so refreshing. It just hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what I'm looking for, because there's enough division in the world as it is. You know, there's enough religions and sects out there saying, hey, if you don't follow what we're following, you're going to eternal hell.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to die and you're going to go to hell and you're going to live in hell and all kinds of crazy shit like that. But if everyone's saying that, then who's right?
Yeah.
Right? And then it's like, okay, wait a minute. There's another place of being, which is like, I don't want to say above that, but it's like level shifts it. It's not even looking at the division.
Way to put it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you guys keep fighting and it's okay. You know, no judgment there. You guys keep your religion, keep your beliefs, but just try this on for the 10 days that you're here. Try on this technique. And by the way, this technique has been preserved by the Buddha 2,500 years, passed on from person to person, teacher to teacher, preserved. And apparently in India it was lost. That's where Buddhism started, right? I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Gautama the Buddha was in India, and after he passed on, his teachings became bastardized, for a lack of a better word. And again, this is my take on it, so forgive me if I'm wrong or if I'm offending anyone. I don't mean to. But essentially, they started worshiping him, and according to the teachings at Vipassana, they were like, that was never the intention.
It's kind of always like that, isn't it? Like
yeah, he's like, you got my message
schools.
wrong. Hello.
Yeah, like to me, it's like the telephone game.
Yes,
It gets
broken
passed
telephone.
Down, it gets passed down, it changes,
Yeah.
and by the time
I'm pretty sure he said I'm God. No, I'm pretty sure he did not. I'm pretty sure he said we all are. Okay.
I am, as in you are. As in you are.
Exactly. Because there's a oneness.
I am.
Yes, hello.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was a full circle realization for me at Vipassana that to basically go back to the universal truth, the heart of it. And the beauty of Vipassana is that the technique gets you to observe yourself, your inner self, your body sensations, and as a result, you're observing your personal reality. Not something you read in a book, not something a priest or an imam or a rabbi has told you or a pundit. It's something that is truth within your experience. You know, like imagine that, like experiencing life, experiencing God, experiencing spirituality, however you want to label it, experiencing it for yourself. And that was what Vipassana was, as in a nutshell. And that being said, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
Did they talk about pain?
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So there's a concept that they taught called anicca, and essentially what it is the realization and the awareness of the fact that all sensations are impermanent. They arise and they pass away. They arise and they pass away. Whether it's a negative, aversion, it could be pain, physical pain, it could be hatred, it could be jealousy, it could be anger, rage, whatever it is, it's going to arise, it's going to pass away. But not only aversions, but cravings as well. Like cravings of passion, cravings of food, and the cool thing that they reminded me is that all addictions are not the addictions to the substance in and of themselves, but of the sensations that they get you to feel. That's deep.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? That blew my mind. I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because yes, you can argue that yes, alcohol is addictive, caffeine is a drug, nicotine is a drug, but at the end of the day, what makes it addictive are the sensations that you get, the feelings that you get addicted to. Like the feeling of getting high, the feeling of feeling tipsy, the feeling of forgetting your problems for a moment in time. Those feelings are addictive in and of themselves. And if you can get to the heart of those and be able to practice anicca, which is understand, basically there's two parts to Vipassana. First, it's the insight. The insight that Vipassana gives is that meditation can be a practice as a way to liberation. So they don't say it's the way to liberation. A way to liberation.
Yeah.
And I love that. I'm like, okay, that's fair. I can swallow that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's two parts to Vipassana. The first part is awareness. The second part is equanimity. As far as awareness is concerned, awareness of what? Awareness of your reality within yourself by observing your body sensations. Okay? And I'll go into details of what that meant practically.
Yeah.
And then in terms of equanimity, it means mental balance.
I don't know that word actually.
I didn't know it either. I had to ask the teacher like 2 times because I didn't hear the first time. And even the second time, I'm like, what? What? I was like the dumb kid, like, what? What does it mean again? What? So I stand in front of the sign that has the definitions, and I just memorize and try to internalize every day before lunch. Because I'm like the first kid there 10 minutes before everybody else because I'm starving. Because you only have 2 meals a day, by the way. And I'm like, I'm gonna die. Okay, but while I'm dying, let me just memorize these words so that I can go to heaven and meet Buddha or whatever, right? Sorry, I don't mean to mean fun, but I'm trying to make light of a really challenging time. So I'm memorizing this, I'm internalizing it. It says equanimity. What it means is mental balance and being able, the ability to experience anything that comes at you in life with the understanding that it's impermanent. Oh, I'm like, wow, that's deep.
Which
right?
makes you appreciate things more.
Yes, and it also is like, oh, I'm here to get superpowers, not just to be aware of my body sensations and all that, but having equanimity to me is a superpower because like there's so many times where, like, for example, someone comes in a room and they trigger you and you're like, I just want to give it to them, like in the worst way. I want to insult them, or I want to be ready for them insulting me, and I'm going to fire back and react. They're going to give me 2, I'm going to give them 10, like take that, take this.
You feel so good.
Yeah, and it's like a temporary, like, I got them, but at the end of the day, who did I get? I got myself, right? Because you realize the oneness of things.
Yeah.
But what's beautiful about this experience is that you really get to experience yourself being one with everybody, because you start to understand that everyone that you've had aversions to at any degree, it's not only that you created a hell for yourself, within yourself, but ultimately you come to realize that you started everything. You're 100% responsible for everything.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, whoa,
Yeah.
like I've had bits and pieces of this understanding throughout my life. Different wisdom traditions have taught bits and pieces of it, but they brought it all together in an experiential way. I'm like, this is badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like kids from like as young as 18 or young adults to, there was like people in their 60s and, all meditating 6 to 11 hours a day, 10 days straight, no talking to anyone, no eye gestures, no hand gestures.
Wow. Eye gestures.
Yeah,
That's
not even,
intense.
you cannot. You have to yeah.
like that's my thing. Like I like.
Yeah, I think. Oh shit.
Like I have like you can say a whole conversation with eyes.
The meditation police would get you so bad.
I would be so bad. I have no desire right now to do that. But I respect you for doing it, and we'll.
I did it for all you folks.
Yeah.
Since I had nothing better to do, I went to that. I bore that cross.
But did they do any did they talk and like give guidance? Like, did they do guided meditations ever? Did they?
Yeah, good question.
Teach? How did they get you to see that?
Yeah.
It comes from you, because that's hard to see. Because really, when we start out as kids, like life just happens to us. We absorb everything, and what kids tend to do is blame it on themselves. So like, oh, that must be happening. Maybe I did something wrong, right? And there it starts.
Right.
But like, how did they have a way of getting you to see this is where it comes from?
Yes. Well, I'm glad you're asking this, because if you've never been, and I'm assuming most of you watching this have never been, yes, they guide you through it. Not only day to day they guide you through it, but each meditation sitting, they guide you through what your focus is for that day and that moment for meditation. So the first 2 to 3 days, we're focused on, it's called Anapana meditation. And essentially what it is you're sharpening your mind by focusing on this triangular area around the nose and up to your upper lip. And then I think it's day 3, we start to focus on just the upper lip portion and the entrance of our nostrils. Feeling the sensation, being like really alert and aware of it and focusing on it. And what you start to find is your mind starts to quiet, and those crazy thoughts that come in when you try to meditate, those start to go away, especially in an environment like this where you're almost like in a vacuum, right? You have no phones, no interaction with anyone that's verbal, and no physical gestures. So you're in this kind of almost like a utopia-esque environment for you to really self-discover and go within. So then they guide you through that. And then on top of all the guided meditations, they give you the guidance in the beginning, and then you're on your own after like the first couple of minutes. You practice it over and over again, whether it's the sensations here or the bodily sensations. And then in the evenings, they have a discourse where Goenkaji, who is the founder of the Vipassana centers worldwide, he gives a talk. He's passed on, but what's beautiful is his recordings still are very much alive. You can find them on YouTube. I didn't know that. But they're also in the 200 plus centers of Vipassana around the world. They listen to the same recordings. So in fact, the teachers that are there, even the head teacher that's sitting at the front answering everyone's questions in between the meditation center sessions, he doesn't call himself the teacher. He doesn't talk much outside of the curriculum. He just says, I'm an assistant to Goenkaji. So humble, so like free of ego. And I found that very, very refreshing, because it was not about any particular person, but it was about giving the maximum experience to the students, i.e. us who were there, taking our time out to really get the most benefits out of those 10 days.
Nice. Sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. So then when you started focusing on the triangle, did your mind quiet, or did you have stuff come up, or like were you faced with anything internal? Like what happened?
Oh my God.
When it got quiet.
There were so many, like, the monkey mind can go crazy. Like, you hear someone sneezing, you hear someone coughing, you hear someone moving around, and you want to open your eyes and be like, what's wrong with them?
Like, I'd want to laugh so hard.
There were times.
Like, there were.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm just. Yeah.
I was tested in so many ways, and there were so many times I wanted to laugh, I even had like violent thoughts, and I had to go to the teacher. I'm like, is this normal? He's like, yep. Welcome to the Vipassana session. Because all of your, I don't want to say demons, but it's like, they call it sankharas. And I forget the definition of that, sankhara. If you guys know, comment below. But essentially, anything that you've created out of your misunderstanding of reality that has negatively impacted your body starts to come up.
Yeah.
And it comes up in dreams, it comes out in emotions, in thoughts. You'll get a thought of you'll get triggered. I got some crazy vivid dreams, and it was amazing. It was amazing.
Like, do they give you guidance on how to work through those, or how to, like, I mean, because it is all about love, right? But if you're having really scary or those things come up that are not pleasant, how do you love that, or how do you
so
go through it and alone and without talking to you can't even talk to people? Like,
so what they tell you is observe, be aware, don't react. And easier said than done.
Yeah,
because our whole life we're reacting.
What?
I'm like, oh my God, I got a journal. Oh my God, I got to find out the meaning of this dream. Oh my God, I got to ask the teacher this. That was me. And I'm sure a lot of other students had their own thing, because I could tell in between sessions there were lineups of people wanting to ask questions. So a lot of shit comes up, but it's the beauty is that you get to be with that shit.
Yeah.
And as messy and nasty as that sounds, it's awesome, because you start to become self-reliant, truly independent, because you realize that it all stems from within you, and it also is anicca, it's impermanent. This too shall pass, and that sentence kept coming up. This too shall pass. This too shall pass, because it was not easy. Amy, we're sitting there for hours on end every day to meditate. I love meditating, or I should say, I used to love meditating, or I thought I loved meditating until I went to Vipassana, because it takes meditation to the next, like the nth degree, you know what I mean? As far as like we civilians can, we're not monks, but we got the monk experience, you know what I mean?
Wow. And so we're talking about addiction too, and it's just making me think okay, so these things are coming up, and I feel like we do get addicted to certain things because, like you said, sensations, right? It feels good. So it kind of numbs in a way too. But I feel like at the root of addiction is lack of love. And really, where those demons are coming up from are just another place where we have loved ourselves. So it's easy to take something that feels good on the outside and kind of, it's soothing, right? It soothes that thing, but you're not actually addressing it. So then it's like this cycle. But when you can go down and find those things coming up, and you go into it instead of just trying to soothe it away, because that doesn't actually work, you actually find a new part of yourself that holds something that you didn't know, right?
It sounds like you've been there. You've been through Vipassana in a sense.
I haven't done it, but I've been in my places, in my demons, you could say.
So I'm glad you brought this up, because I think that's something that was also a lesson for me here, was in self-love. And not just self-acceptance, but self-love. And then it came full circle when I realized, okay, self-love is loving all.
Yeah.
No exceptions.
And it's not the concept of love, because I think people talk a lot about love as in I love you, or I love these flowers, or I love that, and it's, you can love something because they give you X, Y, and Z, right? That's a concept of love that comes from the mind. But the feeling of love is what we're talking about.
Yes. And the thing is, the English language is very limited. Language in general is very limited, but love can have different layers, different meanings, right? The love of a mother is not the same as the love of a lover, is not the same as the love of a child, or a love of a friend, or a love of a coworker, but I understand what you're saying, there's something deeper there where, I want to say the word acceptance comes up.
Me too. It's the same.
Isn't that wild?
Acceptance.
Yeah, acceptance. Yeah. Acceptance, fully accepting, fully loving, and fully trusting. Like I want to say that too, because you're trusting that everyone that's come into your life came in as a teacher to teach you something, to remind you of something, and that there are no victims here. That there's no victims, there's no villains. It's just a movie that's being played out to remind us of something, so that we can have an experience and we can give others an experience. And the question is, what role do you want to play, and how much do you want to hold on to things that you believed were there for the reasons that they were there, or being confused, or giving into the illusion of things that, oh, he did this to me, or she did that to me, or wait till I see this person, I'm going to give them a piece of my, you know what I mean? But it's like none of that. That all starts to melt away. Like I have found myself on, I think it was like day 8, 9, and definitely day 10, my God, just showering forgiveness and love to everybody, especially the people that I considered like, I don't want to say enemies or frenemies, but yes, that, and also people that I didn't have the most pleasant thoughts about, to say the least, whenever I thought of them or their name came up. But now it's like, I love them, and I wish the best for them, and I understand they have a role to play, and I had a role to play, and I have regrets of like hurting people, or giving them the experience of hurt, and at the same time, I love and accept that part of myself that didn't know or realize in that time that I'm behaving less than I can, and my understanding was less than, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying from an ego perspective that, oh, now I am all whole and mighty and I understand everything. No, more like I came to an understanding that we're all connected, and that whatever I've done to someone is impacting me, is going to continue to impact me, and I need to heal that. I need to deal with that in myself. And anyone that's hurt me, I don't necessarily need to approach them, but I can send them love and blessing and compassion, and wish them harmony and all those good positive energies, and just like sincerely, God bless them, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because when you go through your layers, right, you're literally in jail, like forced to see yourself. So it's like you go through those layers and you eventually have to see the core, right? And then that's where you're finding the love and the acceptance, because at your core, that's what we are. It's just that if you don't go through your layers and you let the layers like play out, then they do consume you, and they do dictate how you think and what you do and what you see and how you react, and so that's beautiful that you did that to yourself.
Yes.
You went and
I did do it to myself.
And
I'm such a misogynist.
No, masochist.
Oh, that's what I meant. Sorry, my English not too good looking. Masochist. Sorry, guys. Don't quote me on that. Don't use it against me. Masochist. Now I'm going to Google that. ChatGPT that. But while you were speaking, that the layers idea got me thinking of cake. Not just because the analogy, but I'm hungry. Mm-hmm. But also, I was stuck in the layers of cake. Really yummy cake, in the sense that I was addicted to like the toxicity of like, I'm gonna show her, or I'm gonna show him, and just wait till I get to react to this, or and there was a deliciousness to that, and that's toxic. Like now that I'm reflecting back on it, but now it's like I'm looking back and looking at the whole cake, and I'm like, man, I am that cake. I'm the good, bad, and the ugly. Every bit of that cake is me. And I made that cake, and I ate that cake, and I'm still eating that cake, and I'm done with that cake, and now I want a new cake. And this cake is love, peace, harmony, compassion for everyone. Yes. Starting from within me and then sending it out. And that's what we did day 9 and 10, is we did this. So after day 4, we started Vipassana, and then so it was first Anapana meditation, then Vipassana, then at the end we added Metta. META.
I'm just learning about that.
I just got goosebumps.
Whoa! I've literally been doing a meditation the past like 2 weeks.
That's wild. See, timing is perfect.
And I had never heard that. I've never heard of metta.
Yeah, I had a friend named Metta, but I don't think that's the same meaning. But maybe it is. He was Indian. But my understanding was that like metta is basically, for those of you who don't know, like sending out love and compassion. You know, the compassion and love you feel, sharing it with the world, with the universe, with all beings everywhere, and wishing for them and hoping for them to take part in it. And when we did that on day 9 and 10, man, I've never seen so many grown men cry, including myself. So it didn't make me feel so bad. I'm looking around, like sniffling. I'm like, am I the only one bawling here? But especially day 10, it was so beautiful because there was a moment where we were, sorry if I'm, what's the word? You know when you give away the movie plot?
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
Okay. But day 10, sending forgiveness to people, okay, from a place of love and compassion. Man, that was heavy and beautiful. And so many of us needed it so badly. And I know this because on day 10, and we did that day 11 as well. Day 10, we were able to open up our speaking fast. And so we started to chit chat, you know, went from noble silence to noble chatter. And everyone's like, did you experience this? What did you experience? What did it happen? Oh my God, your roommate sleep talks? Oh, that's terrible. Mine snores. Oh, you do too? Oh, okay, cool. And you know, that kind of stuff was going on, but also just the challenges that we're all dealing with. So by day 11, when we were doing the whole forgiveness thing, I'm just imagining everyone forgiving their business partner, their ex-lover, their child, their employer, XYZ, you know what I mean? All of that. And myself included, you know, and it was just such a beautiful experience to be in a room full of, you know, meta people, setting out meta to the universe. It was beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Would you do it again?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I would do it again, perhaps with my partner, just to kind of like know that, okay, there's someone else going through the torture for the first time that I've been through, and that's the masochist in me, I guess. But another part is to refresh this, right? Because I've had some crazy, blissful, amazing experiences there that I haven't quite felt outside of Vipassana. So part of me is craving that. I know I'm not supposed to be craving, but I do want to renew my practice, right? I am trying to meditate every day. Ideally, they say do it twice a day, but I'm trying to do at least once a day, and I want to, you know, at some point I might want to renew it. The recommendation is you do it every year.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I can, because I don't know if I want to, because it's a lot. It's a lot. But you owe it to yourself. If you're listening to this, if any of this resonates with you, try it at least once. And if you're like me, you're gonna wish that you did it earlier, sooner in your life. And the best part is, it's by donation. They don't push you for money or anything.
And where was it?
The one I did was in Montebello, Quebec. It's like equal distance between Ottawa and Montreal, about an hour apart. And it's actually the first Vipassana center in North America.
Oh.
So it has a lot of history, and every year they get north of $1 million in donations from students that have been through it. So, you know, students have gotten benefits. Why else would they donate? And then last year alone, they had over 3,000 students go through that one center alone.
Oh my God.
So yeah, do you have any other questions about it?
I think what I'm thinking is, because you said you're craving that feeling again, and what is coming up for me is for the meta meditation that I'm doing is to give that to yourself. So it's like at your core, allowing yourself to feel loved, to feel safe, to feel at ease, you know, and just to practice that every day of giving that to yourself. And then when you do feel that, it's like, I can feel it right now, but it's like it's like a deep satisfaction, like a deep love for yourself. And I feel like when you get caught up in day to day, and you kind of, your mind focuses in other places. So, but when you can take time to give that back to yourself, I feel like it's really beneficial.
Well said. And while you were saying that, I was going into that part of myself, and like, oh, it feels good. So thank you for that reminder.
You can have it.
Yeah, you can have it whenever you want.
Yeah.
Just choose to have it.
Yeah.
And just be it, live in it, dwell in it. You know, like, what's the word? Like, savor it while you're there, you know?
And I think that's also, well, it could be another topic, but to get into receiving.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's save that for our next time.
Yeah.
We have so much to talk about.
We have so much.
I think we've been talking for well over an hour.
Yeah, it could have been a day.
I think our
could have
audience
been-
is falling asleep. I'm growing like a beard. I have to shave again. It's like
I have to shave again.
that building that was starting to be built before the
Yeah.
podcast is already done.
People living there.
People
now.
live there. They're
They-
like third generation now. Our grandchildren are watching this like, I wonder when grandparents will be back. Grandma's been out for so long. Sorry. And more corny jokes to come, folks.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you, Amy, for joining me on this wild podcast that we decided not to edit and do it live. No edits, just be authentic as it comes. Let it be out there, and no censoring. Just it is what it is.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing and being open about your experience, because I know it is a sacred, journey that you took, and it's really beautiful that you can share with us, and we can, learn from you and from what you experienced. So
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. So I'm really grateful for this, and thank you, folks, for watching. And if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Woohoo!
Namaste.